We've been talking about the other big story. The big story today, of course, about interest rates. The other big story is about the submersible, what has happened to it. It's near the Titanic wreck. And a listener, actually, a great guy called Stephen, got in touch with me on Twitter. And the very best stories I usually find, and some of the best interviews, are people who get in touch with me and suggest things. Because, yes, it's my show today, sitting in for Ian, but it's your show as well. And Stephen's uncle has been down to see the Titanic. He's a man called Dr Leonard Evans, and he went to see the Titanic wreck in 2000. And I'm delighted that Dr Leonard Evans, who's president of the Science Serving Society, is with us now from America. Leonard, you're very welcome to TalkTV. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Good morning from the middle of the United States.
Good morning.
I'm afraid I can't be near as upbeat about the prospects of those on board as your previous commentators. When I first heard about the loss of communication, my immediate thought, and this was seconds after hearing the story, was there was a structural failure and all on board were not only dead, but totally transformed. They were turned into biomass. Let me show you.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that has happened? What's led you to that conclusion, Leonard?
Because it fits all the facts. There's no reason why they should lose communication, because they've got multiple channels, and you just have to discard some weight, and you will flow gently to the surface. And there are all sorts of ways of getting rid of some weight from the submersible structure. And you can do that.
You're very pessimistic about this, Leonard.
Oh, I thought it's like when you lose contact from an aircraft at 39,000 feet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a very sad conclusion. But it's an unavoidable one.
Tell us about your own experience in 2023 years ago, going down to see the Titanic. How did that work, and how did you sort of get into that, and what was the sort of purpose of what you were doing?
Well, my profession is traffic safety. That's road traffic safety, and since this incident occurred, roughly 500 people have died on the roads of the United States. And we obviously don't give a darn about them, because they're just ordinary people. But let me show you one of the little things we did for fun. Excuse me. When we went down to the Titanic, is we decorated a styrofoam cup of regular size, and we put it not in the area where the people were, but the area outside. And that's what happens to it at Titanic depth. And it's what would happen to human flesh. This was a regular coffee size.
And actually, you're showing that styrofoam cup being put down. But in terms of your fascination with the Titanic, in terms of actually going down, I mean, what could you actually see when you were down there that's beyond what the pictures that we have seen? Just talk us through the experience.
Oh, well, the submersible I was in at Mir 1, it was the very same one that James Cameron was in when he filmed the shots in the movie Titanic. So we saw just what he saw, and I've lots and lots of pictures from
it must have been fascinating to see it there. There's some people who say that this is actually kind of morbid curiosity. It is a graveyard because there were over 1,000 people who have it as their final resting place. I mean, what do you make of that kind of criticism of people actually going down there in the first place?
Well, it's one of the world's biggest stories, and I grew up in Belfast, so it's Belfast's most famous product, and I felt I'd like to see it, even if it was 2.5 miles under the Atlantic. Those of us who dove, we knew there were risks, but we understood if there was any structural failure in the submersible, it was immediate curtains. You would be dead sooner than by any other means you could immediately think of.
And Leonard, sorry to interrupt you, you knew the risk was very high when you went down. I mean, did you worry a lot about what has happened at the moment, perhaps happening to you?
Well, just like when there's an airplane crash, you think about all your own flights.
But this is much higher risk, I suppose.
I suspect that this submersible was not near as safe as the one we were down in. That's my suspicion. The ones we went down in were built in Finland, purchased by Russia for a research vessel. And they were quite simple in a good sense. We had a very small viewing window.
How many people were in it?
3.
Mm-hmm.
And it was darned uncomfortable. And it was a sphere about 1 meter diameter. So you can imagine 3 people in there, there's not much comfort. But it wasn't built for comfort. Whereas this new one was built for tourism. We never used the term tourism. The people on board had a particular interest in the Titanic, as I had.
Okay. Leonard, thank you very much. It was really fascinating. Dr. Leonard Evans there, who dived to see the Titanic wreck in 2000, joining us from America. Very, very interesting.